Are you new to Gundam models and confused by all the grades? Are you thinking about that first model and not sure where to start? You are not alone. Gundam kits come in different grades, and each one is designed for a different skill level, from the entry grade and high grade for beginner, to master grade and perfect grade for the more serious builder. Each Gundam grade tells you the size, detail, and complexity of the kit. In this video, I'll break down every grade, what makes them different, and help you choose the right one for your skill level. This is Gunpla Declassified, dedicating to demystifying this dazzling array of 45 years worth of Gundam plastic model kits, or Gunpla. In 1980, Mobile Suit Gundam just finished its initial run with poor viewership and even worse toy sales. It looked like it was heading for the dumpster. How could Sunrise turn this around? Well, it appears that doing it yourself would be the key. They started releasing the first grade model kits. They were blocky, they didn't pose very well, but they far exceeded the toy sales at the time. These first models would save this media giant. Because of that success, we now have a multitude, really overwhelming amount of choices whenever you walk down a well-stocked aisle of Gunpla. What does it all mean? What do the grades mean? And a lot of people don't know where to begin. And just who am I? My name is Matt. My friends call me Muffin Man. It's a whole how do you do. And I had spent most of my teen years building Gundams, early 2000s when Gundam Wing came out, and we were all super stoked from that. And then towards the latter end of the 2000s, I really got into Warhammer. So I got away from Gunpla for a long time. And coming back into it, I really am not playing Warhammer as much, not throwing them bones, but still wanted to do more hobby things because I really enjoy that. So I came back to Gundam and Gunpla after 15 years. And when I came back, it was shocking how different new grades there were, different versions. Say you're a Wing Gundam fan, you go to the aisle and you see there's there's this grade, and but there's two different master grades, and what does EW and the TV version, and it's just a bunch of options. And that's what the goal is here, is to help you figure out what's the best kit for you, your skill set, your budget. That's a big one. Or to figure out what challenge or lack of challenge you would like to have in a kit. Maybe you just want something nice to put on your shelf. Maybe you want to hobby a little bit more and get into panel liners and paints and all of that. And there's a kit for you for that. That's what this video series is wanting to tackle. I keep on saying grades. What are Gundam grades? We're also going to be discussing which grades are good for the beginning hobbyist, the intermediate hobbyist, the person who's done a couple of kits and maybe wants a little bit more challenge. And then of course there's the guy who's gone all in, all chips in, buddy. We're doing it. Where do they want to take their hobby to next? Maybe they want that showstopper, that certain. Each grade can be defined by the categories of price, complexity, and size. There are 5 main grades that will be discussed in depth by these metrics. Other Bandai kits will also be discussed, but with less details. Let's get in the mix. The first grade I would like to talk about is the high grade. It's the most common, it's beginner friendly, it's not going to have a lot of parts, low to moderate. Some of the newer, fancier high grades, compared to what they were 15 years ago, high grades are fantastic. But when you pop into a box, you're not going to see a lot of these. These are runners. High grades have a fairly forgiving amount of these. You're not going to be overwhelmed like you will some of the bigger, nicer kits. That low part count will not be this huge task, this Herculean task. It will be less discouraging, I feel, for a lot of beginners. And say you're a more advanced hobbyist. I personally love high grade now, especially after spending some time in the Warhammer space, because they have just enough detail to really have this real mechanical feel to it. They are cheaper than others. They allow for a lot more like painting opportunities or posing without really worrying about screwing up like a $50 model. Maybe you want to cut one up, airbrush it, really kind of let your creativity flow. I love high grade. I think they're great. But they're going to come in a scale 1/144. They are going to be about like, 5 to 6 inches tall. Wait. What is scale? Model scale is the ratio that defines how much smaller a model is compared to the real object it represents. So 144, or you could say 1/44, or you could just simply say 144, all are acceptable, is just that. A fraction that tells us that this Zaku is 1/44 the size of what we'd expect a real one to be. If Zakus were real. Now compare that same Zaku to its much larger brother, the master grade in that 1/100th scale. I misspoke when recording this video earlier. I said that 1/44 scale models come in about 5 to 6 inches. That would be expected of most, I would say even 99% of the models in this grade. However, what if the thing they represent is much larger, like this Psycho Gundam? This Psycho Gundam high grade will be towering over other high grades or anything else in that 1/44 scale. It's a monstrous vehicle. If it's bigger in the source material, it's naturally going to be bigger as a kit. So it's just a fraction. That's what scale is. At an affordable price point, there's little worry for an occasional learning opportunity. Whoops doodle. They go together pretty quickly. I would expect to put like 1 to 3 hours, like an afternoon, to put one together, soup to nuts. They're a snap fit assembly. You don't have to worry about glue. They're cheapest chips, somewhere in the 10 to 25 range for most of them. They're fun, fast offerings, come in such a huge selection. If it's in any Mobile Suit Gundam media and you want a kit of it, you'll probably find it in a high grade. Next up is real grade, or RG. They're on the same scale as high grade, that 1/144. They have a lot of detail. They have better posing, like really good posing, like incredible posing. This would be things you would find in higher grades, like the soon to be talked about Master, and in my opinion, match some of the detail of some of the older perfect grades. They're incredible. Now, what you can expect from these is, even though they share a size, a scale with the high grades, you're going to dip into a kit that has some pretty high runner count, some pretty high part count. A lot of them, especially the early ones, have advanced interframe systems, which can be a bit divisive, but they fixed a lot of those problems from those early kits. And now those inner mechanics, whenever they include them, are incredible. Panel lines and color separations are top notch. They are ready to go right out of the box. They look tight, highly detailed. One thing that you should know though, if you're picking up a kit for the first time, this is your first Gundam kit, and you go, whoa, that thing is gnarly.
I want to build that.
Just expect a little bit more challenge. This is not exactly ideal for the beginner, because you might want to pick up a couple of techniques on the way. You may want to mess up, on a cheaper kit. However, if this is something that you want to dive right into, or you've made a model or two before, go ahead. These are fantastic. But you can't have everything, boys. There's a give and take in life. The downside to real grade is its limited choice of mobile suits. You're going to enjoy building either the hero unit or the villain unit of the most popular shows. Don't expect to find like shows that have just came out. You will not find new mobile suits in that yet. They really only released like 2 of these a year, and they've got 50 years to catch up. So you just may not find your favorite suit in this grade. But I gotta say, try something new. Even if you don't like the suit, sometimes you'll find amazingly satisfying builds. Real Grade strives to take in the best of all the grades and become greater than the sum of its parts. Fantastic grade. Love it. Love it. If you want your model to have a little bit more robust and commanding presence on your shelf, then maybe you want to consider the Master Grade line. These are larger, more detailed kits that give you a real sense of mechanical depth. They're going to clock in a little bit larger at that 1/100 scale. They're going to have a high part count with an inner frame. That really is the best way to hang all of this mechanical detail and get better posing out of it. You can expect a longer build time with these. This line is unique that it has kind of lines within lines. The build time can vary. Like if you were picking up one of these regular Master Grade kits, that would be like the 5 hour to maybe a couple afternoons. You have like the Vercal line. These sometimes can be a little bit more impressive in terms of model detail. They're a special artist series. They are redesigns by Hajime Kotoki. And these are newer kits. They sometimes take a little bit longer. There are some high-end Master Grade kits called the
MGEX.
Those are like extreme ends of this model line. They're almost perfect grades. And those are the ones that not only are they going to be the most expensive, but they're going to be a real commitment in time. But for the most part, these 5 hours, 10 hours maybe, a couple afternoons, you're good to go. Something like these two, you would expect to pay anywhere from $30 to $70. Some of them with all the extra gibbity gubs and the accessories and everything can go well over $100 or beyond. Really, there are a couple of them that get kind of nutty, but that is for the most part what you can expect out of the Master Grade. They're great for display. They come with a ton of accessories. There's more than 200 kits in the line. You'll probably find your favorite. They're great. This is it. The big kahunas, the mountaintop, the...
Huh?
Oh.
Shinji, crank that, soldier boy.
Like and subscribe so that I can afford to actually show you a Gundam perfect grade. Although Evangelion's pretty cool too, isn't it? I like Evangelion. I like it a lot. You should watch it. But yeah, this is the only perfect grade I have. But not for nothing, this is a Bandai perfect grade. And this would be the size box that you would expect some of the older ones. Yeah, these are pretty excellent kits whenever it comes down to it. Eva or Gundam. Even those
MGEX,
which have been stepping on the old perfect grade line's toes for some time. Makes no mistake, these are the big ends. These are the top of the line. And whenever a new one comes out, it's no joke. They're only getting better. They're going to be big. They're coming in at that 160 scale. There's extremely high parts count. They have complex internal mechanisms. Some of these kits have LEDs or LEDs you can buy for them. Huge boxes that are massive display pieces. You're going to spend a great deal of time working on these. I would expect anywhere from 10 to 30 hours on these. You can expect them to range anywhere from about 150 bones to 300 to that new Perfect Grade Unleashed new Gundam. Ooh, coming in at almost $700. These are just bad to the bone. Perfect grades are an awesome expression of ability, and they have a towering shelf presence. They're engineering marvels, quite frankly, but they're going to require some time, money, and skill. Now, you may say to me, wait a second, nerd, who got time for that? Or that's a lot with the tools and the how do you do and the yada yada. Well, hold on, dudes. There is entry grade, the perfect starting place for kids or anybody who just wants to dip their toes into the hobby or they've never done anything like this. These are low part count 144 scale models, no tools needed. Don't even need snips. You can twist off the parts from the runner. A very simple build, usually under an hour. Very affordable, and usually you can find these from $5 to $12. Surprisingly good articulation in these little models. Entry grade proves that you don't have to have complexity to enjoy Gunpla. Most of the kits you'll find in stores usually are part of the grades that I've already spoken about. However, there are a few others. What if you come across something weird? Something that just says, ain't a part of your system, man. You might find non-grades or first grades. These are usually like really antiquated kits. They were either like the first kits from like 1980s or more likely they're reissues. There was a run of cheap kits in the 90s for the new shows that were not Universal Century, Wing, X, G. You'll find these first grades or non-grades. You can find them in 1/100 or 144 if you find them at all. They're kind of hard to find these days, but you still see them. And they're great for homies who want a little bit of nostalgia or they're looking for a challenge. There's just not a lot of good color separations. There's virtually no posability with them. And not for nothing, there is a buyer out there for that. There are the mega size models. Ooh, the big old boys. These are big. They come in at a whopping 1/48 scale. They're giant kits with simple builds, and they're great for painting or other projects that you might have. They're just kind of cool. Who doesn't like big kits? And then there's the super deform. There are tons of these. They're cute little chibi style kits. You've seen them, likely to be on countertops. You might have that one friend that has them. They focus a little bit more on charm than realism. Small and simple is how one would describe all the old SD lines, but Bandai has introduced the MGSD line in the past few years, and it is anything but. This is a line made up of a handful of models that have all the complexity and parts count of a master grade. Then you have the HG 100s, the Reborn 100s, or the Full Mechanic 100s. I'm lumping them all together even though they're separate lines. They pretty much are the same exercise with a limited amount of mobile suits. As their name suggests, they're 1/100 scale lines, usually around the same build in quality as an HG as the HG 100 suggests. So which Gunpla grade do you think fits you best? Here's a quick rundown again of what we've discussed. Start small, build your skills, or find that next big project to tackle. Hey guys, thanks for watching. This is my first video ever. If you found this all very helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more Gunpla videos, drop a comment below. Please, thank you. Do whatever we can, to get this thing off the ground. Please, please. It's either this or something, I don't know, Mountain Dew sommelier, and I can't handle that. I'm stoked. Let's get into some big robot cartoons. Before you, I have prepared an exquisite flight up. Oh. I hope this Gundam thing works out.